what I will do though, I think before I move on to anything else, I'll just show you briefly for those who are interested in kind of how you get this effect. And I think what if I probably, okay, let's just open with this one with Photoshop just to give you a sense of what's happening. Now normally, so we've got a bright colourful thing here. Now if you're converting to black and white, the number of different ways of doing it, but if I use the gradient map just to show you how that, so we've got a black and white here. Now the gradient map, what it's doing is moving between, if you look over on the left of the screen, you've got the forward colour is black, the back one is white, and you can see this gradient over on the right hand side here. So what it does is it takes the darkest part of the image as black, the lightest part of the image as white, and then every gradient in between is the shade it matches with that shade of grey. So that's giving you a gradient. But you don't have to do black and white. You can choose any colours you like. If I decide to make that red and I make the background sort of yellow, and then if I apply gradient map, you can see it moves. The darkest parts are red, the lightest parts are yellow. So you can play around with this in any number of ways. Now, when I put it into, what I did with this is, in Photoshop, there's a whole bunch, if you click on it, there's a downward option. You don't have to just go for the black and white. There's a menu option, and you've got lots of other things to play with. So you've got all sorts of different greys. Oh, sort of mix. Go back to the gradient map. It's got inverses, you can play with pinks, you can play with blues, all sorts of different presets. You can make up your own as well, but they've also got presets whether you want to go really psychedelic. But down here, what I went for is they've got a couple of blue and sepia, and I think that was one, that's two. What was that? Yeah, that one, that's right. And that's really the effect I'm giving. And what this is doing is it's meaning you've got a very dark blue as the darkest part, and you've got a very pale, well, virtually white at the lightest part. But in the middle, you've got a paler blue and a sepia. So the more I lighten it, the more sepia it will become. So if I just take these levels, if I move that and brighten it up, you can see it becomes much more sepia. If I darken it down, it becomes much more blue. So that's what's kind of giving you that effect. Not perhaps for everybody's taste, but for me, I thought it was really quite cool, and I really enjoyed doing that. It was a kind of new way of playing around with gradient maps, which I hadn't done before either. And I like the whole point of this photo shoot was to tie in with the fact that it was a comic festival and to make photos that look like comics, really. If you found this useful, let your friends know and hit subscribe.